let's go. We departed Edo with the intention of following wherever Hijikata-san led our remaining comrades. We gathered word that the Shinsengumi had regrouped with the Denshu Company en route to Nikko. From what I understood, the Denshu Company was comprised of former Imperial Army men who were well versed with Western tactics and armaments. Okita and I took refuge in the depths of the forest paths during the afternoons to avoid the harsh sunlight.
もうすぐ夜が明けるか。今日はこの辺にしておいた方が良さそうだね。
Right.
ちょっと待ってて。眠るのにちょうど良さそうな場所を探してくる。
あ？
どうした
の？Nothing.
そう。それならいいけど。それじゃ、いい子で留守番してるんだよ。
With that said, Okita continued stepping through the brush to find a suitable resting place. I refrained from mentioning anything about it, but I noticed that the sword in his hips wasn't the one he'd usually use. Rather, it was a sword— oh god, I gotta say this one again! It was a sword named the Yamashiro no Kami Fujiwara Kunikiyo, which he received as a personal gift from Kondo-san. If he were wielding that sword on our trip to locate Hijikata-san, it signified how personally he regarded this quest. I wondered to myself if everything would be okay. If something were to provoke Okita into a furious rage, would I have a chance of stopping him? I could only tend to these thoughts in silence, and I peeked up to watch the moon slowly descend into the horizon amidst the breaking of a new dawn. Okita found a quiet area underneath an old soaring tree, and we tried to make ourselves comfortable when... I heard the distant howl of a yobiku. A soldier screamed from afar. Yobiku. A whistle. Oh. Okay! Okita! We had been spotted by a roaming troop of Imperial forces who were approaching us rapidly. The minute we were forced to leave the refuge of the shade, I felt an immediate queasiness.
逃げ切るのは無理か。迎え撃つしかなさそうだね。
Okita muttered smugly to himself before unsheathing his mighty sword from the scabbard on his hips. Okita! I knew that he was still in a relatively unstable state. Activating his fury powers was a huge risk.
大丈夫だよ。あの程度の相手ならすぐに片付けてみせるから。君は木陰にでも隠れてて。いいって言うまで出てきちゃダメだよ。
No. Before now, I would have normally nodded and obeyed his orders without question. But now... I'm going to fight beside you. I unsheath my kodachi.
戦うって、君が?
It's not as if they're demons. I'm sure I'll be able to manage myself. If we fight together, then it means we'll be rid of them even faster, right? I refuse to let you be the only one to put yourself in harm's way. On the day we encountered Kazuma, I recall feeling an overwhelming sense of power coming from within in order to fend him off. If I could just harness those powers once more.
まったくもう、どうなっても知らないよ。
Okita sighed. I heard another whistle, and this time, the sound came from a closer vicinity than before.
いたぞ、こっちだ!
Before we knew it, the Imperial Army troops emerged from the bush and had us surrounded.
早く片付けるに越したことはないよね。こんなところで足止めを食うわけにはいかないし。それじゃ、行こうか、千鶴ちゃん。
I nodded at Okita and together we charged.
撃て
The soldiers all had their rifles pointed straight at us, and their leader gestured them all to shoot.
バカだな。撃たせるわけないでしょ。
Okita closed the distance between himself and an enemy soldier in the span of a second. Oh, he is enjoying this. It was almost impossible to believe. He was moving at a superhuman pace, slicing through the soldier's limbs in the blink of an eye.
己仲間を
The soldier raised his rifle to fire another round at Okita, but he was...
遅いよ。
Okita kicked against the ground, leaping high above the soldier, whose draw was no match for Okita's. He scarcely had any time to flinch, let alone dodge. The soldier's blood splattered onto a nearby tree.
相手にならないね。
Yeah, he's enjoying this a little bit too much! I shivered watching his sadistic display of sword mastery. With impeccable precision, he wove through the soldier's formation and slayed 2 men in one movement. Holy shit.
ひるむな撃て
The soldiers who became the highest ranking officer amongst his slain comrades signaled his men to shoot. Just then, one of the bullets pierced through my calf.
千鶴ちゃん。
Blood began seeping into my clothes. I nearly toppled over from the searing pain, which was burning intensely from the spot of the wound. In almost no time, the bullet hole began to close. I'm okay! This is nothing! I didn't want to worry Okita. I took deep breaths and stood tall. I stood tall. I caught a nearby soldier off guard and drove my kodachi through his heart. His rifle fell from his hands, clanging to the floor. It should be ground! Okita instinctively kicked the rifle off to the side, winking at me for killing the soldier. Suddenly,
貴様
the high-ranking officer pointed his rifle straight towards me, catching me from behind. But it was for naught.
よそ見してる余裕なんてあるわけ？あんたたちの相手は僕なんだけど。
Yo, did that just cut off by itself? What the fuck? Okita barked loudly to capture the attention of the remaining soldiers before moving to slash at each of them one by one. Every time one would raise their rifle, it was hopeless, and Okita would close the difference before splitting them open with his katana. As soon as he had slain all of the soldiers in our vicinity, Okita shouted out at me.
千鶴ちゃん、あんまり前に出過ぎないで。足手まといってほどじゃないけど、それでも君は一人で戦えるほどの腕前じゃないんだから。君は人を切ったりなんてしなくていい。自分の身を守ることだけ考えて。いいね。
Even if it meant my kodachi would have to draw blood, I wanted so badly to fight alongside Okita. Not like I wanted to get myself killed.
返事は
But I could respect that it was Okita's way of conveying his concern, unusual as it may seem. Wakatta. I nodded. Just then,
貴様らが話に聞いた新選組の羅刹かならば
oh, yo, they know. A rustle came from behind us. We saw an Imperial captain quickly loading particular-looking bullets into his gun. Were they silver bullets? Okita, duck! I screamed Okita's name in hopes of alerting him. Then suddenly, a kunai knife was flung from out of nowhere, landing in the captain's neck. It cut straight through his carotid artery. Oh god, these words. And he fell to the ground. I have a sneaking suspicion who it might be. This knife, it must have come from...
お二人ともご無事でしたか?
Yes! That voice, it's...
山崎君、君生きてたんだ。甲府の戦いの時以来姿が見えなかったからてっきり死んじゃったんだと思ってたのに。
何者だ？貴様も新選組の者か？
しんがりは俺が務めます。お二人ともどうかご無事で。
千鶴ちゃん、こっちへ。
Okita glanced at me and spoke curtly, gesturing for the two of us to sprint down the mountain path. After he gave the go-ahead, I ran right after him.
逃がすな！撃て！
A row of Imperial reinforcements got into a formation at the mouth of the path to fire their rifles, but luckily, we proved difficult targets to hit amidst the thick bush of trees.
どこを見ている？お前たちの相手はこの俺だ！
Is Yamazaki's missing his sword in the sprite. That's an error. What? Does this sprite exist? Did I catch an error? Because his sword is clearly not in his scabbard and also not in his hand. The fuck? Yamazaki led from branch to branch, narrowly avoiding fire as he threw more kunai knives, but then... No! Yamazaki! I heard what I thought was Yamazaki's pain groan behind us, and I instinctively stopped running. Yamazaki, however, attempted to brush it off.
足を止めないでください！そのまま走って！
I used his words as motivation, fighting back tears as we distance ourselves from the fracas. Oh god! Phew. Before I realized it, the sun had finally set, producing brilliant orange hues that shined from the west.
とりあえずなんとか逃げおおせたかな。
We paused for a moment to listen if there were any enemies marching towards us on the trail. It seemed as though we had in fact lost them.
にしてもこの怪我で走り続けるなんてね。
Yeah, that's because we ran in fucking sunlight.
山崎君、落ち水も飲んでないのに無茶しすぎじゃない？
俺はこんなところで死ぬわけにはいきませんから。
Yamazaki, let me see your wounds. Yamazaki walked over to me gingerly, and I was careful to peel open his clothing that was soaked in blood. This doesn't look too good. I couldn't help but worry aloud. By some stroke of divine luck, any bullets that landed pierced straight through the flesh, a small source of comfort if any could be taken. But even so, the wound under his ribcage hadn't clotted, so it required my immediate attention. But here... After I finished applying some first aid, Okita immediately jumped into a line of questioning.
どうして山崎君がここにいるの？僕たちが敵に取り囲まれてる時にちょうど駆けつけるなんて、いくらなんでも間が良すぎない？
Yamazaki looked down for a minute, pausing to choose his words carefully as he stroked his chin.
甲府城付近であなた方と別れた後、俺は新選組の本陣に合流しました。ここ数日は新政府側の動向を探るため本体を離れていたのですが。
So it was a coincidence that you bumped into us? Yamazaki's eyes thinned.
君たちを見つけたのは数日前だ。
Boy has been watching us. What? Why would you wait until now?
声をかけることができなかったんだ。局長のことは聞いているな。
I nodded.
なるほど。僕を土方さんに会わせたくなかったってこと？僕があの人を殺しちゃうかもしれないから。
Yamazaki neither confirmed nor denied Okita's claim, and instead he stared back blankly. Okita, however, seemed unbothered by the lack of response, and he just chuckled.
僕としたことがうかつだな。何日も君に見張られてたのに気づかなかったなんて。
それだけ疲れが溜まっておられるということでしょう。
それは否定しないけどさ。ま、君がいなかったら僕たちとっくに殺されてただろうし、そのことに関してはお礼を言ってあげてもいいかな。ありがとう。
Oh, Yamazaki is surprised at the thanks. No! Considering these two absolutely do not get along at all, hearing Okita say thanks, major surprise.
どうしたの？
いえ、まさか沖田さんの口からそのような言葉を聞くことになるとは思わなかったもので。
失礼なことを言ってくれるな。じゃあさっきのは撤回するよ。
For a little while, Yamazaki looked poised to speak, but then he contemplated again as he thought of the right way to phrase his question.
もし副長に会えたら、あなたはどうするおつもりですか？
まだ決めてないよ。実際のところ、僕もまだわからないんだ。
Okita has lost the person that he respected and looked up to the most. Yamazaki still has the person that he follows, which is Hijikata. I can understand Yamazaki's protectiveness and, like, what the fuck are you going to do when you find Hijikata? I'm worried about what he's gonna do once he finds Hijikata. But if he has no idea what the fuck he's gonna do, I don't know. This is strange for Okita. This is really strange, and I'll admit it.
あの人を切っちゃうかもしれないし、逆に僕の方が切られるかもしれない。
新選組は近藤局長と土方副長のお二人で作り上げたもの。いわばお二人の夢そのものです。
知ってるよ。
近藤局長は何があっても決して副長を死なせたいとは思っておられないはずです。
それも知ってる。
Yamazaki stared intently into Okita's eyes, trying to parse his intentions. We all stood alone, and the whistle of the breeze behind us rustled leaves scattered amongst the ground. Eventually,
新選組の皆は今宇都宮城にいます。
Yamazaki revealed the location without blinking, and he continued to stare back at Okita.
あの人を土方副長を頼みます。
He uttered this wish to us aloud, and Okita nodded silently. What are you going to do now, Yamazaki?
俺はここで休んでいく。少し喋りすぎた。
No! Oh god! But
千鶴ちゃん行こう。
But
い
also,
いから行くよ。
I'm gonna. I'm in sad mode right now. Anyway.
山崎くん、今までずっと働き詰めだったんだし、少し休ませてあげなきゃ。
I don't like the word rest here. I really don't. With that said, he looked over at Yamazaki with a friendly gleam in his eyes.
土方副長にお伝えください。少し遅れますが必ず合流しますと。
After heeding Yamazaki's request, we continued our way back down the mountain. God. No! I swear to God. Please don't be the last time we don't see Yamazaki. Oh! Shit. Back to default, hopefully.